Hello, I'm Byron Hatcher, your Middle Tennessee home expert. Are you buying your first home? If so, there's a state grant offered by the Tennessee Housing Development Agency, commonly known as THDA, that could potentially save you thousands of dollars. Here's how it works with a step-by-step guide on how to use one of these amazing grants. The THDA Great Choice Plus program offers you a grant of up to 4% of the amount of your home loan. Step number 1, check your credit score on your own first. And don't worry, checking your own credit online, for example, doesn't hurt your score because it's considered a soft inquiry. We'll talk about hard inquiries in a minute. You'll want to pay attention to your middle score, not the highest or the lowest, but the one in the middle. That's the one that banks use to determine your eligibility. THDA requires a credit score of 640 or better. That doesn't mean that you can't buy a home if your score isn't 640. It's just what THDA requires. There may be other options out there for you also. THDA will only allow your debt to be 45% of your income, including what your debt would be with your new mortgage. If you want to learn about debt to income ratios, check out another segment of mine, Rent versus Mortgage, How Banks Determine Loan Amount. Step number 2, if your score is 640 and your debt to income ratio is under 45%, it's time for you to interview a few mortgage lenders and start the approval process. Don't interview just one, interview several. Receiving quotes from more than one bank will assure that you get the best rate, a knowledgeable mortgage banker, and a good understanding of who you want to work with. Not only does it help you, but competition between lenders helps society as a whole. The more that banks compete with each other, the lower it drives down interest rates respectively, as long as the Fed doesn't shake things up. Now, when you apply for a loan, that is considered a hard inquiry and it will very slightly affect your credit score. However, if you have several inquiries for mortgages only, the credit bureau looks at them all together as one hard inquiry. If you apply for a mortgage, a new car, and a boat within the same time frame, that counts as 3 different hard inquiries and will make it hard for you to be approved for a mortgage, obviously. Call me if you have any questions about soft versus hard inquiries. Step number 3, the best part. Once you've chosen your lender, you'll receive your pre-approval letter. Then you and I can get together and discuss what your dream home looks like. And we can get out and start looking at homes. But what's the catch with THDA? Well, there's an 8-hour home buyer education course that is required. Those can be completed online, but I would recommend going and getting the most out of the course in person. Now, this is important. You have to understand that THDA is considered a loan until you've lived in the home for 15 years. Here's a graph if you're a visual person. After you complete year number 10, 20% of the grant gets deducted each year for years 11 through 15. In other words, you'd owe 80% of the grant amount if you sold it in year 11. In year 12, you'd owe 60% if you sold it, and so forth until year 15 was reached. The final catch is time. When you're working with THDA, not only do your lender's underwriters have to process your loan, but THDA has underwriters as well who work for the government, and they have to do the same thing. A typical THDA loan should close anywhere from 30 to 45 days from the binding agreement date. A standard loan without THDA normally closes in 30 days. If you're using a 0% down USDA loan or United States Department of Agriculture loan, that would have to pass through a third set of underwriters who work for USDA. Turnaround time if you're using all 3 could take 8 weeks or more, but when you're having all of your closing costs paid for, a down payment isn't required, and the sellers agree with waiting, why not save that kind of money? For more information on ways that you can save when buying or selling a home, you're welcome to call or text me with the info on the screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Byron Hatcher, and I'm your Middle Tennessee home expert. I'll see you soon.